And then they got these young women believing that you don't have to work hard. You have an asset that can make you a lot of money. But again, you're teaching them to lower their standards, but that can only be the devil at work. And teaching the most powerful thing we have is the Black Queen. The Black Queen standing next to a king is the most immaculate team that could ever be created. That's Voltron within itself. But now we telling our women the same way they crucified our men with the music and made us think a certain way psychologically. They're doing the same thing to the women. And these women are eating it up because they feeding them the feminist mentality. But what's the problem though with that feminist mentality is the sacrificial lambs. And a lot of cases when those children come out, their children lose. And when you say it, it's like, no, you're missing a major component in a child, right? Which is the masculinity. So right there, a woman screaming is just a woman screaming. That don't make her strong or tough.
Welcome to the Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast, starring Q the Boss.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast. I am Q the Boss. I'm laughing about something today, guys. But today's gonna be definitely a serious topic, but my co-host is in the building.
Hi, guys.
Miss Tashay Jones. Mrs. Jones. Mrs. Jones.
That is I.
Today's topic, guys, is bondage.
Cheers. Cheers.
By trauma.
You need an easier way to be picking up these drinks.
Guys, today might be a little emotional, man. Today we're talking about trauma, man. You know, we've all experienced it. You know, some people are not like visual or rather transparent with what they've experienced. Right. I think the world is in a bad space now because people don't talk about it. Yeah. So let's just pass the mic over to you. Tell me some things that you've experienced that you think may have affected you in your adult years.
Before we talk about that, why do you think a lot of people, especially in our culture, find it so hard to talk about trauma? Let's start with men.
I think men, because we're taught that you're supposed to technically be a robot. You're taught that technically you're not supposed to feel. And when you do feel, society makes you feel guilty about feeling. We're in a space today where the world feels like anytime a man shows any level of vulnerability, he's considered weak. I remember one time I was having a conversation with some women, and she said, as the man started saying his feelings, she was like, "Ooh, that's why I can't stand these men these days. Y'all so sassy." And then I looked at her and said, "What's sassy?" Because he's telling you it's something that bothers him. And the fact that it's making her uncomfortable, that's why he's sassy to her. It's not because of the fact that he's sassy. It's because if a man says something that makes a woman uncomfortable, she always makes it about her feelings. She's not comfortable with hearing about herself anytime it goes against how she feels. Soon as it makes her feel away, automatically he's wrong. It's like defense mechanism.
But I feel like it's not only women that make men feel uncomfortable. I think sometimes there are men that make them feel uncomfortable. I think sometimes fathers make them feel uncomfortable. I mean, you and I both heard a story from someone saying that he needed a safe space to go to, and when he went to his dad turned his back on him. Agreed. So I don't think it's always a woman. I think it's just men just don't feel safe expressing themselves, period.
Agreed. You know? I just think that his dad is very old school. And I think his dad come from the school where when you broke your knee, you act like your knee wasn't broken. Right. You walked it off.
Yeah, but it doesn't change the fact that you didn't have someone to talk to. We're not gonna justify the reasoning. It's still that going to your parents should be a safe space, you know, and whether my mom is old school or my dad is old school, when they don't give you that opening to be able to have conversation about your feelings, it still hurts.
Agreed, but when you look at society today, right, being able to be loved and being able to give love, to receive it and to give it has to be taught. So the way you receive love and the way you give love is how you're taught. Right. If you were taught that when things are good, you give your all. When you get upset, you don't give your all. If you were taught that, you're gonna repeat that. You ever notice that some people, when they get upset, right, they stop or negate their responsibilities in a relationship because they was taught that, right? There are people that will start not paying the responsibilities or what makes the relationship work because we have a hiccup. And I'm saying, and at that moment, that goes to show you that's maybe how you've been taught. Right. When your mom or your dad got upset, that's how they acted. So therefore, you only repeating, and again, now receiving love. The way you receive love is how you was taught how to receive love. At one point, I thought that love was when we're on good terms, they talk great to me. But as soon as you get mad at me, Now, guess what? You curse at me and scream at me. I thought that was normal. I genuinely thought that that was very normal, that that's the relationship I would have to be in, is with a woman. When she gets upset, here come the verbal abuse. But I never saw it as verbal abuse. I saw it as normality. I didn't even see it as abnormal. I never thought that was a problem until I realized it was a problem. I never knew. You know what I'm saying? Because again, everyone that was around me, every woman I saw that was around me, when they got upset, they definitely disrespected the man. And that became normal. And it's just go ahead.
I've had those experiences with men and women, though I don't think I would per se put it on one gender. I think that sometimes when people don't know, they don't know. And we talk about that a lot. I think that, you know, when you come from parents and grandparents, it's generational. You know, my mom, we don't communicate, you know, at 40, I'm still learning my mother. You know what I mean? I moved in with my mom when I was 12 years old. And it was very difficult for me to communicate with her because she was set in her ways. I was set in my ways. I grew up with my father. And, you know, I've talked about this on the podcast. My dad went to prison for a long time. And, you know, I wanted to be with my mom. But I was really upset that I felt like my mom didn't want me, because why wasn't I with you up until the age of 12? Why was I with my grandmother? And I carried a lot of that into my adulthood and how I communicated with her, because I felt like, who are you to tell me this now that I'm here? Who are you to this? You were never there. You were never this, you know? And we just have sometimes that communication barrier. And I think she was never taught, you know, by her mother. My mom loves her kids and she's an amazing mother. I'm not going to say she's an incredible mom, but I think communication is definitely lack. My mom always feels like she's being attacked. So I can't really have a conversation with her saying, you know, hey, mom, these are the things that bothered me, because immediately she's going to let me know she did the best she could. What else could I have done? Blah, blah, blah. But it's like, you did. But I'm telling you, up until the age of 12, like, a girl needs her mom. So that's a long period to go without that maternal love, that maternal affection, having your mom hug you, tell you, you know, just hug you at night, read a book to you, anything that you do with your, you know, mothers and daughters do. Like, it was difficult. My grandma did the best she could. She raised 6 kids and here she was raising all these grandkids. So, you know, I knew all along she wasn't my mom. She did the best she could, but I just needed my mom to be there, and she wasn't. So, you know, fast forward now, it's a relationship that we're still working on. I've told you guys, I've never gone out to eat with my mom by myself, and I'm 40. We've never gone out to do anything by ourselves, like get our nails done, go out to eat, go out to have a drink. And it's still hard for me because I'm like, damn, would that be weird? We always need a buffer. We always need somebody in between us. Me, her, my brother. Me, her, my sister. Me, her, my, you know what I mean? It's never just us.
I think is the both of y'all don't know how to let y'all guard down and be vulnerable with each other. I think both of y'all are probably both nervous. The same thing in your mind you're thinking, she probably thinking.
Yeah.
So y'all probably don't know how to approach it. And sometimes we get so used to things that we just say, you know what, this is how it's going to be.
It is what it is.
But someone has to be the bigger person and say, you know what, I want to change how this is. I want to create a new dynamic of how me and my mother relationship is. You know, I'll give you, it's funny because what you just said was every woman in my life has been like that. Like where anytime I would speak about anything that makes them feel away, my feelings always got negated. Even my mom, like, you know, respectfully, my mom is a great mom. My mother is a single mother of 6. She did everything she was supposed to do for us as within reason of which our abilities, right? But the one thing I've learned is I think one of the hardest things I experienced with her is not being able to be vulnerable with her when it makes her feel like she's about to, or she's being under attack.
Right.
I think that's crazy in a sense because I do believe that stems from narcissistic traits where you're not comfortable. Because if we could sit here and say, Shay, are you perfect? What would you say?
Of course not, no.
So my mom will identify that she's not perfect.
Right.
So if you can identify you're not perfect, then there should be no reason why someone can't approach you and tell you about you. If someone can't tell you about you, it's because you definitely must think you perfect. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm only telling you something that bothered me. This is the moment where you cannot, and I say this with conviction, you cannot make it about how you feel. Because if you do, all you're gonna do is minimize my feelings. And then the next time you try to talk to me, I don't wanna hear it either.
But we both come from Jamaican mothers, and I'm not justifying it. Do you feel like it's a Black cultural thing? Do you feel like you could say it's a Caribbean thing where we just grew up in this tough upbringing where we just were not taught to express our feelings? Your mom may have not had a safe place to express her feelings, so she didn't know how to take you. She knew how to work hard, and she felt like provision was good enough. Do you feel like a lot of parents feel like, listen, if I put a roof over your head, food on the table, and clothes on your back, that's enough, and everything else is negated? Like it doesn't matter how you feel otherwise.
Yeah, because every time I hear stories of my grandmother was stern, disciplined, and strict.
Right.
Then my mother was stern, disciplined, and strict.
Right.
I was stern, disciplined, and strict, but then I had to realize before my son got to the tender ages of he would have been stern, disciplined, and strict.
Right.
I caught on and started realizing that that aggression is only being passed on for generations. Someone has to break that mentality. Whether, like for instance, some conversations didn't warrant a whooping. Certain conversations warranted a conversation.
Yeah.
But for me, I grew up in a household when you were wrong, there was consequences, and it was usually some kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in
Physical.
reality, yeah, and sometimes I'm like, damn, this could have been a conversation.
Yeah.
You could have talked to me. You could try to understand what I'm going through. And I see as a man, anytime I do try to show vulnerability, it's like people are not receptive of it the way I would want them to be, because it's about how it makes them feel. So they're not really comfortable with hearing it. I'm like, you did, so I'll give you a quick story. One of my homegirls, she's from Barbados. She had her and her husband live in Texas. Her cousin hit up in Barbados, said, hey, we don't have money. Our business is not doing well. Can I come to the States and stay with y'all so I can save up some money? So they said, you know what, no problem, come. She asked her husband, he said, yeah, no problem. Then she said, can my husband come? Because of the fact that my husband is, it'll make us get the money faster, because my husband a hustler. So the man says, you know what, the husband said, you know what, they can stay here. They said, can they get 12 months? He said, perfect. So they come anyway. He said he would come in the house sometimes, he would see his wife having certain conversations with him, and kikiing. So one day he says to her, like, yo, do me a favor, just be mindful that as a man, he might take it like you like him. So be mindful. Some guys don't take it the right way. So just be mindful.
Right.
You know what she said? You're insecure as hell. You need to grow the hell up. Because he didn't attack her.
Right.
He just told her to be mindful, because as a man, I will admit that sometimes when women are nice to men, some men can take it wrong. And I'm pretty sure you witnessed that from women also. They can take it completely wrong and misconstrue someone's nice as
an invitation to something else, right?
And that's what I was. So fast forward, they called me. They broke down the whole scenario to me. I said to her, I 100% agree with him.
Right.
She said, oh, y'all both insecure. And I said, you see, the reason why this conversation is going left, because you're making it about how you feel, and you're not seeing that he's trying to protect his situation, because you don't know how the man may be thinking with the kikiing with you. Right. You never know. He said, I don't know how this guy move. I don't know how he operate. So I just want to make sure. And then I said to her, if he was so insecure, why would he move or let them come stay at the house?
Right.
He could have said no. He's the breadwinner of the family and everything. He said yes because he tried to help your family out.
Right.
But in the same breath, he told her, like, just be mindful.
As a man, he's letting you know, right?
Because some guys, they're a little weird when it comes to dealing with women.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think sometimes, typically, a lot of women would say that. I don't know why. I don't know if that's a defense thing, because I can't say I wouldn't. I don't know if being in that situation immediately, I wouldn't say you're being insecure, because maybe she felt like she was being. I'm not saying he was attacking her. Clearly, he wasn't.
Just said it
I could see it from you saying it now. It's obviously a protection thing where it's like, listen, I'm not saying he is, but I'm just telling you, be mindful of how you move. You know, I don't know if being in that situation, I would have been like, well, why are you being so insecure? Because I think sometimes we all just are, we jump to those conclusions, even though.
I felt bad because then she started attacking me. And she started calling me out as a man.
That's a bit much,
and I said, damn, it's not like that. She was like, she said, I would have never taken you for insecure. And I said, yo, I'm going to say something to you, and I'm going to show you what because I ain't never been insecure. I said, that's not true. She said, how am I insecure? I said, if I tell you, you're going to get defensive. She said, no, I'm not. Tell me how I'm. I said, my sister, we have to take 75 photos of you for you to like one, because you're looking for the first perfect photo right there. Secondly, you put on makeup and a filter to take a photo. You telling me that's not insecure? I said, that's insecure. You're trying to look perfectly perfect when you know that's not really you. That's insecure. And I didn't diss her. I put the mirror in her face of herself. And I said, so don't use these terms out of context because it's not in line with what you want to hear. And I said, respectfully, that's insecure with what you do. Right. I said, now let's have a real discussion. I said, because I'll go and let people see my everyday face than my sometime face. That's not how you look. And I said, that's insecure. Oh, you try to play me? Oh my, you just try to play me by calling me insecure. Damn. But they say it ain't fun when the rabbit got the gun. Damn. That's the problem.
That's true.
You know, but again, it depends on how you perceive things. I think a lot of social media help people think weird because, I don't think he was insecure at all.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit.
Hearing it from you, saying it, like I said, when you're in the situation, sometimes it's a little different. Sometimes we have to take ourselves out of it to really get the grip of the situation. But I think that, like I said, I can't say being in it, I probably wouldn't have said the same thing. I think that was just her initial reaction to her husband. Like, you're being insecure, because for her, she may have felt like, we're just talking.
Yes.
You know, like, why are you saying that? But I totally understand where you're coming from, where you're like, listen, I'm just giving you fair warning as a man who know men.
Just be mindful.
Be mindful, you know?
And the funny thing is, moving forward, the way she defended it, it made him feel a little uncomfortable now. And the way she kept defending it and defending it, she wasn't, see, the thing is about acknowledgement. One thing we have to understand is most people go to the defense before the acknowledgement or the reasoning. You can't go to the reasoning first. You have to go to the acknowledgement first. For instance, me and you friends. Q, I don't like the fact that you did this. I'm not gonna go with first thing I'm not gonna say to you is what my intentions was.
Right.
No, I'm gonna acknowledge your feelings first. Show you that I value your feelings and your feelings are validated. Shay, you know what? I understand exactly what you're saying. I apologize. But Shay, honestly, now your guard is here. It comes down.
Right.
Because I acknowledge your feelings. And then secondly, I'll say, but in reality, this was my intention.
Right.
But it can't be the intention first. Because anytime you bring up the intention first, it sounds like you're being defensive, or you sound like you're being like you're trying
Very
to
condescending
yes,
and
or
just,
sneak your way out of it.
Yeah,
You know, sound
right.
like you're being like truth, right? Because again, he's telling you or she's telling you about how you made them feel. Yeah, Tyler.
Speaking of trauma
So
and like
stuffy, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sniffling the whole show.
speaking of trauma and relationships, do you guys think there's like a thing of financial trauma as well? Because I hear nowadays like people be in relationships and say you lend your partner some money, people hold money over your head and ledgers and things like that. Can you guys speak on that? How do you guys feel about like financial trauma and just relationships?
I think that when you're in a relationship is different, right? Because you're together, but you know what I mean. In a marriage, I don't think that people should ever hold finances over the other person's head. I think what I bring to the table and what you bring to the table, we make it work.
Yeah.
Even if it's not balanced. There is
100%.
no 50-50, 80-20. It's just us making it work. Whatever needs to be done, we're going to get it done. If you start, I did this and I did that, like it becomes like, I think that weighs a lot on a marriage and can really end one. From just hearing that all the time. Like,
Agreed.
I wouldn't want to know that me and you are married, Tyler, and we have a house and you pay the mortgage,
I
I
agree.
pay the utilities, I do the groceries, I take care of the kids, but you need to remind me every month that you pay the mortgage. It's just like, I get it.
You know
Got
what-
it.
you know what,
You
Lorette?
know, it's a little much, you know, when people do that.
It would make me uncomfortable in that relationship because if you haven't mastered the ability to believe that's what you're supposed to do, and that's your role of the relationship, and you haven't mastered that understanding and you still want a doggy biscuit for doing what you're supposed to do in a relationship, there's certain requirements that come with being in a relationship, whether male or
Yeah.
female, right? The reality is if a person hasn't accepted that there are roles and that person hasn't accepted that they're in a relationship, the only way you're going to understand you're in a relationship by accepting that you're in a relationship. So therefore, guess what? We're in a friendship. There are roles that will maintain our friendship. Regardless of whatever or not, if I don't get the role met and I don't meet your role of what you expect as me of a friend,
Yeah.
then we're not good friends.
Yeah.
What make good friends is when there are expectations. We should have expectations of people. When people say I have no expectations, that means you shouldn't be around those people.
Yeah.
Because the reality, if I have to minimize myself to be around a person, that means I'm not growing around this person. So therefore, I would tell you, like, a person have to accept, look, you're in a relationship. There are jobs, there are roles. Stop wanting, don't get me wrong, and I say this respectfully, you should always acknowledge what a person do for you at times, and how we do that is we celebrate anniversaries. How we do that, we celebrate birthdays. How we do that, it can't be an everyday reminder, I appreciate you. Come on, like damn, you want a puppy?
Yeah.
Like, bro, I get it. You are paying the mortgage. Yes, I get it. And the fact that she's loyal to you, she's there with you, she's doing everything with you, that's more than saying thank you. I think we need to get more to the action opposed to just the verbal. I don't care what somebody says, what you do for me that tell me you respect me.
So I used to have expectations. I see Sasha says she has expectations for everyone. I used to do that. I changed it and I started having standards. I feel like expectations breeds disappointment. And I feel like when I go around having expectations, it's me wanting someone to be what I thought they would be or what I wanted them to be. That's what I think expectations are. It's like I expected Q to do this when I got there. I don't think, I think you can live by certain standards, things you will and won't accept.
Agreed.
But I think expectations just creates too much room for disappointment. Yes, I feel like standards for me is just better. It's Barbara, it's better because now I know, like, okay, you know what, Q didn't do this. Now I know how to move with him. I don't want to have expectations of people because expectations is what I created in my head of what you should and shouldn't do. And if you don't live up to those standards, right? We say we have expectations, but we say people don't live up to the standards.
Okay.
So we don't have expectations. We have standards. There are things that I just don't want to deal with. And you shouldn't have to. You know what I mean? You should have to.
Fairly, once you build a relationship, you should have, I do have expectations of you.
But your expectations are what you want someone to do. I feel like if you have expectations, it's what you think that person should do. It isn't really who they are.
Okay.
Because people are going to be who they are regardless.
And
it may not be up to your standards. So why did you have expectations of them? And then when you got disappointed, you got mad. But they are who they are.
And once someone show me who they is, one thing I'm good at accepting.
Right.
But the reality is I do have expectations of you. And the reality is if you don't meet my expectations, I will no longer be someone's friend. I could be cool with somebody and cordial with them. But for them to be in my intimate world and for me to be in your intimate world, I feel like it's a blessing for me to be in your intimate world. And I feel like it's a blessing for you to be in my intimate world because I got your back wholeheartedly and I know you got my back wholeheartedly. To have someone genuinely have your back wholeheartedly and you don't have expectations for that person, because I'm going to meet the expectations I know you expect me. I know right now if Shay broke down on the highway, I think you can call me and I would try to get there or send somebody to get there for you.
But I don't expect you to do it.
No,
That's not an expectation.
No, I agree. But
it's just me being your friend.
it's still an
saying,
expectation,
I would hope.
It's still an expectation.
Not really, because the expectation is that I would want to know that if I call Q, he's there. But
okay, let me say this. It's not entitled. It's not entitled.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but what I'm saying is the reason why I said is expectations is because you do expect to do what I'm willing to do for you and you expect me to do what you're willing to do for me. I think that's healthy, right? I think like if I tell my son I go outside and I represent us right, I expect my son to go out and represent us right. Right? And it's not in a sense of control, but it's in a sense of standard also. It's very close. They're like right there.
It's really more of a standard though. Like I said, when you say expectation, it's more kind of like, I want you to do that because you're my friend and you're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to put that on anybody and
not
making
like
them
that.
feel
Not
like
like
they
that.
have
It's just
to
like,
do
we
that.
have each other's back. We're supposed to have each other's back.
Right.
You should be able to know that you can depend on people that you call friend.
Yeah.
You should know. The one thing I want to say something the other day, we was having a conversation, and I don't want to say who the person was. Remember the female we was having a conversation with the other day? She said she has 5 male friends, and all 5 of the male friends want to sleep with her. So I told her, that's not 5 male friends, that's 5 opportunists. I told her, I'm the only guy that's around you that genuinely don't want to sleep with you. Not because I don't find the person attractive, it's because I value our friendship more than I value an orgasm.
But do you think a lot of men are friends with women because they want to sleep with them, but they accept the friend zone until she takes them out of it?
I think most guys are like that. I think the guy that's always 100 and 1,000% honest with you, that's the guy that's genuinely a friend. I think the guys that sugarcoat like the conversations and like for instance, a woman could call a guy right now and be like, you can tell when a guy's being he's not trying to be all the way truthful. Is because he knows he's gonna hurt her feelings. That guy's a guy that's probably sitting in the back because he's looking for an opportunity. But the reality is the guys that aren't like that are the guys that are more honest. That's the guy I think that really don't like, that see you that way.
Right.
He's like, yo, that don't look good on you.
Right.
Oh, you hater. Then you gonna call, guess what, the other dude who wanna sleep with you, who's gonna tell you everything you wanna hear.
Right.
And that's unhealthy in itself because now she believes that the opportunist is really her friend. He's sitting there waiting for the right moment. There was a video where the guy called, he told her, it was like, he said, open your phones and let's check each other's phones. And while he said it, she said, I have a male best friend. So he said to her, call him and ask him right now, tonight is on, I want to sleep with you.
I saw that. Yes.
You see about 9 out of 10 of the guys going to say what?
Yeah.
But how do you perceive that as a friend when you know that he would sleep with you? That can't be a friend. And in the same breath, you say, that's a brother to me. How is it a brother to you when a brother would sleep with you? You call me your big brother, right? How do I look looking at you on that level when you look at me as a brother? And I'm telling you, I look at you as a sister. That means that person practices incest all day because you just said that person is your sister, that person is your brother. That's weird. Because I grew up where we don't have to be blood related, but I treated people that wasn't blood related to me more like family than some of my own family members because of how we grew up.
Right.
It's how we grew up. That's like my family. Even though there's no blood between us. But the fact of the matter is our loyalty, our integrity, our morals, how dedicated we are to each other, we're family.
Do you have any female friends, or have you had female friends where you guys became friends because it came from a situation of you trying to get with them and that didn't work out and it was like, okay, I'll be your friend, and you settle for that? Has that ever happened?
If I was physically attracted to the woman, I've never been a friend of a woman I was physically attracted. I was cool.
Okay.
I was cool with her. But I do believe that lines could get blurred when you try to be intimate with somebody. Because now you're playing a position that you might not really want.
Want to play, right?
And then sometimes when you go to that person, that man, for advice, he might be a hater too.
A little biased, right?
Yeah, he might be biased. Or I would leave him, he's a clown.
Right,
The same with
because
your
he
female
wants-
friend.
yeah.
She might have a little bias telling you, oh, your girlfriend ain't this and your girl ain't that, because she like you. So right there, it's unhealthy in a sense because you already stepped past certain boundaries. If y'all met and y'all just was cool, then it's cool.
Right.
But if she tried to sleep with each other, I don't know. I don't trust that one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? Get her.
So speaking of trauma,
stuffy.
we see a lot, Q, with a lot of men. For instance, they'll get in relationships knowing that their situation is not together and they're giving themselves to the woman. Then months later, they're in another one. And it's just a repetitive cycle of just getting women, but not leveling up their life. How do you feel about that? Do you think that's a trauma issue with a lot of these men? And women do it too, but what do you think about that?
I think that shows insecurity within itself, that people are scared to be alone. I think the healthiest person in a relationship is a person that is comfortable being alone, but they don't want to be alone. Meaning they're vulnerable enough to say, I want to be in a relationship, but I genuinely don't need a relationship, but I do want a relationship. There's a level of humility because they mean it wholeheartedly, whether they're in a room alone or in a room full of people, they're the same person. That's a genuine person. That person is the healthiest to date. When a person isn't comfortable being alone, that person is toxic, because in most cases, those people that are uncomfortable being alone, they will do anything to have people attached to them.
Someone attached to them.
They will do anything. Sell a soul, but no set boundaries, nothing.
I think that's where trauma really comes from, is if you're not comfortable with being alone, then really you have some trauma to deal with. Emotional, it's a lot deeper than surface, because I think sometimes people also, when you go from one relationship to the next, it says a lot about who you are. It says a lot about you just needing someone to just fill that space,
100%.
fill that gap, fill that emotional gap of like, I can't be alone. I need someone there all the time, someone to talk to. And I think that comes from trauma. People who just aren't comfortable with just being in their own space. Like, you got to take time to get to know who you are, your likes or dislikes. You can't heal from one relationship by jumping into the next, because you're going to repeat the same thing. And then that's the definition of insanity as we know it, right? So yesterday, funny story, I told my girl I was going to talk about this, but I don't know if she got it, but you don't know who she is. So yesterday we went to 4th of July block party. Shout out to Spices, guys. That's where we're going to have our first live. I hope you guys can make it. Shout out to the owner, Jeff. So he invited us. So we went. My friend is talking to this guy, and he came with her, and she lives in Brooklyn. She brought her daughter, who's 12 or 13, and she picked this guy up because it was easier for them to just take one car, right? So she already had her daughter. So she picked him up. They drove all the way out east with to this barbecue. We're all there.
Say the time. How many? Because some people don't know out east. And how far apart from Brooklyn to the place?
Brooklyn to where he was to pick him up was about an hour and change. And then another 40 minutes to get to where. So she was like, okay, I'll get him, no problem.
2 hours.
We get there. I drove there. We had another girl come. We get there. He has his peoples there. He's showing us his place. We get some drinks. So, naturally the women are we're serving the men. We're asking whatever they want to drink and everything. And her guy kind of had this little pout on his face. I'm not noticing it. She's noticing it. So, some of the guys are introducing themselves to all the ladies. We don't know everyone there. So everyone's just going around. My name is Shay. My name is Q. My name is Tyler. Her guy ended up just kind of like drifting off to the side, and we're like, that's a little weird, but okay. He ended up texting her. We get in the house. It was a thunderstorm yesterday. We get in the house, and he must have texted her, come here. So she didn't see the text because we're conversing, right? So when she finally sees her phone, she texts him back, come where? By then, it's like a half an hour later, the owner was like, oh, he left. He got a ride with someone else and left. And she was like, what? He texted her when he got home, I'm good, we're good, don't call me anymore. She was like, what's going on? So I'm talking to her the whole ride home. She's like, sis, did I do something wrong? Like, what happened? And I'm like, like, what? Did you say something? Did you do something? Did he see you in a weird situation with someone? But she wasn't. Like, we were chilling. This morning she got up. She tried to text him. He blocked her on everything. And so she called him from her other phone, and he was just like, no, I'm good. It was nice knowing you, but I'm good. And we're just trying to figure out, like, what happened?
I see two things.
And it was weird because she's like, sis, I mean, we've been talking for a while. He filled all the boxes. Everything was good with us. Such a nice guy, giving me the time, giving me the, making me feel like it's like he was just doing everything right. Like she really thought like this he may really be in the runnings, and boom.
But she that's why, there are two people in a relationship, right?
Right.
She has her feelings and her perception. He has his feelings and his perception. Maybe he felt like she wasn't paying him no mind when you brought him to a space where he don't know no one there.
No, let me take that back. So he knows the owner. He does all the owner's housework. He's a contractor.
Okay.
So he does everything there. So he knew more people than she did.
Okay.
But she also had her daughter there. So it's like, how much... This is the first time he's coming around her daughter. She told her daughter this is a friend. So her daughter didn't know if this was someone she was dating. But how much attention am I giving you in a space where... we're with a lot of people and you know more people than I do. But even if he couldn't have communicated that, so you just go home, tell her we're done and you block her.
But a 30-minute block is a big window. That's a big window.
What do you mean?
You said he texted her and she didn't see it for 30 minutes.
But we're in the same house. We're in the same space. So you can't come to me. Maybe I'm not on my phone. If we're in a circle and we're talking and my phone is not there and I don't happen to see that you text me, you wouldn't come to see what I'm doing before you just leave and then text me, you don't want to do this anymore and just block me? Like, that's not a little weird?
It is, but the only way we'll be able to actually know the full depth is hearing his perspective, because hearing her perspective, it sounds like he's crazy. But then if you hear his perspective, you can see like, okay, they just have maybe a major misunderstanding, But again, in his mind, he's probably feeling like, he wasn't a priority. And I'm just being fair to him. I don't know what he was thinking, but I'm just saying maybe he thought like that, right? But listening to one side of it, it sounds crazy. I'm gonna be honest, it sounds crazy.
But when she called him this morning from her other phone to say, hey, like, what is going on? I'm so confused. He just, no, you're good. It was nice knowing you were, but my point is, now a woman like that, now she puts her guard back up because she felt safe in the space for someone she was dating for a couple of months and felt like, okay, this was good. A relationship requires communication. So if you like me and I like you and something happened, this is how you're just done with me. You don't say to me, hey, last night, I really didn't like, even if he would have left and said, listen, we'll talk tomorrow. So today you couldn't give me an explanation as to why you behave like that. A grown 39-year-old man is in his feelings and that's how he...
This is where I agree with you. I felt like he should have definitely communicated what was the problem. He shouldn't just assume she could be a mind reader. I think a lot of times it happens on both sides where some men believe that women are mind readers, some women believe that men are mind readers.
I agree.
I think the healthiest relationships is people that can communicate, and they really can. But let's just say hypothetically, he hangs out with her, she's all up in his face.
Right.
But when people are around, maybe she's not all in his face. So he probably was like, damn, you act different when people are around.
But that's a conversation, Q, because that's what relationships are about. I think that for me to be sitting there puzzled, wondering, why didn't Q, that's how you're going to act? She's sitting there puzzled, not knowing what she did. Like, this is someone who...
See, a couple people saying it. Sound like it's something they talked about. It says, I believe he probably warned her already. That's why I'm 50-50. Like, the only
she
way
never
we
said
could know.
that. I don't know. I didn't ask her that. She didn't say that. But it just felt like, again, as a man... communicate. As a woman, doesn't matter. Like, I don't think that I could just go somewhere with someone and then block them. We're going to have a conversation, especially if we're trying to build something, so.
But yeah. I see both sides. I see her perspective, but the only way is just a big gap.
Yeah.
Because you got to hear what he was thinking to understand the totality of everything. And then you could decipher. This is why when we're in court, we get both sides to be able to express themselves and tell their side of the story.
I agree.
I agree. I don't know.
But what she said was, she's like, I believed what he told me. I believed what he showed me. And she's like, now moving forward, I feel like I don't want to date anymore. And the next guy, am I going to treat him in a way where now even your actions, because she's like, this guy's actions showed me that he really wanted, telling me I would never hurt you, I would never this. But as women, we listen to it all and we believe it all, But for a couple months, he was showing her like,
He's the real deal.
This is the real deal. So
Yeah.
she just kind of felt a little snooted, like, so what happened? You just blocked me because,
But that could be
you know?
a trauma response for
Guys,
him.
I'm so stuffy. I'm sorry.
You know what I mean?
Better get this.
That could be a trauma response for him.
Right.
Because
Ooh.
one thing about the term trauma, we learn responses,
Right.
and that's how a lot of us survive, by creating responses. For instance, the
Yeah.
flight or fight. Well, I see things not going the way I want. That's the flight mode. And more
Right.
people like that, they haven't been taught how to fight for the relationships.
Right.
So you never know. Like someone just said it, he could have got turned off.
Yeah.
Right. I don't like it how she's acting. 30 minutes. She ain't thinking nothing to me.
you
So
so
guess
much
what? I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And that's again,
guess, honey, thank you, babe.
it's all about how people
Yeah.
see things and view things.
Yeah.
But the one thing I will say, that trauma and going on to the next relationships, unless you properly heal,
Yeah.
you're gonna bleed in that next relationship.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I've noticed, even from a male and a woman's vantage point. I've seen both sides, where the man extremely bleed on the next woman because of what the last woman did to him. And I've seen women bleed on men
Yeah.
because of what the last man did to them. But the one thing I will say though, men do have a gift, and this is me being fair. When a man get into a physical altercation, two men could fight today and tomorrow act like it never happened. Women don't have that ability, right? They have the memory of an elephant. Something could happen between us and I can genuinely forget about it. Genuinely, because when men move on, we completely move on. We throw it away, we discard it. The issue with women is, so when a woman is outside and she's dealing with different men, it's the same way. She has a memory of an elephant. A lot of times women can remember sexual encounters better than a man can.
Right.
A lot of men don't remember those things. But they remember that he had sex with you, but they might not remember the experience, because a lot of men don't have that memorization. I think women their memories are superior when it come to men. So I always tell women, be mindful also. Look, you sleeping with these guys. Every time you move forward, you're bringing those guys with you because of the fact that you have a great memorization. You're going to remember all the feelings, all your traumas extremely, all of it. And that's a problem within itself, right?
What do you think is something that you've been through that you still hold on to now? Like something that was very traumatic for you that you hold on to right now?
I think I'm easily triggered when someone yell at me. Because if I yell, I want war. I don't yell because I want to just make noise. If I yell because I want war, I want war. Like I'm with whatever it is. And whatever the consequence may be, I'm for it, right? I'm for it. So the reality is, I don't like when someone yell at me because I come from a yeller. So to me, yelling is the extreme no for me. You want to talk to me with some sense and some respect.
Right.
And I'm going to do the same thing you. I'm not going to disrespect.
Don't talk at me, right?
No. And don't try to belittle me and try to play me and raise your voice over me. Because sometimes, I tell you, some people feel like because they talk loud, they're the most intelligent. But sometimes you may be talking loud, but you may be the most foolish.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, just because you're yelling, it don't make you right. Okay.
How do you feel about, getting to certain levels, Q? You had a story, you had a past, like the survivor's remorse thing. Do you still feel affected by that trauma?
100%, because a lot of times when you're moving forward, you look back for people you want to help, but sometimes you have to acknowledge that the people, they don't want to help, they want you to help them, but they don't want to do the work. And the reason why some people are in their position is because they haven't done the work. And when you sit down and talk to them, they're not willing to do the work. They rebel against the discipline. They rebel against the logic that you tell them. They rebel against the structure that you're giving them. Because of the fact that matter, they want certain things, but they don't understand the discipline that comes with it. Because it's one thing to become a millionaire, it's a whole nother level to be able to maintain it. And that's the hardest is maintaining it. That the hardest is not. Look at that's why like 90% of lottery winners go back to being broke. Because they had no discipline before they got the money.
They have a whole show about that.
Yeah.
But they win. But let me ask you guys something, only because I don't want to forget it. Switching topics. So this, what's her name? Young Miami, right? This song that she has, I don't know the title. What's it called? Spin That?
Spin That.
So we saw, I haven't heard the whole song. It's a little catchy, but I haven't heard the whole song. I know you guys saw on Instagram. So we have India Ari, and I don't remember the other lady's name. I don't know if she's an influencer or whoever she is that kind of listened to the song, and they're saying that the song, is yes, it's catchy, but it's kind of bad for the culture.
Agreed.
It's teaching women this and that. Now, on the flip side, I'm gonna let you guys answer both. A and B question. Do you agree? Second, you had a lot of people in the comments, men and women, saying, well, when Uncle Luke used to rap about, But you can't say that. You can't immediately
It's a
say
defense
that.
mechanism.
But it's not a defense mechanism. It's speaking facts. But it's asking what do you think about it. When Uncle Luke used to sing his songs, how come they're saying we never looked at it like that? It was fun. It was nice to dance to. Men felt like they were pimps and women was hoes. Like, what is it that she's doing wrong versus what was done then? And why is she being viewed as not good for the culture if he was more praised?
I think when Luke was
I
hot,
said invest that.
when Luke was hot though, I don't think we had that much research to know how impressionable the music is. I think today we have very much more logic to know that music definitely is impactful, influential, and definitely can control and breed minds to believe and think a certain way. So when you look at some people, you're like, damn, this music is so like toxic that it's gonna teach the next culture of people to be toxic. For instance, the last player of the decade was LeBron. A lot of people used to try to play like LeBron. Then became what? Steph Curry. A lot of the players want to play like Steph Curry.
Right.
People are influenced rather by anything that is big or hot. I remember when I was younger, Dipset was the culture. A lot of people became gang members behind that whole movement, right? So it does play a major part. Right, I know dudes that want to scam more because scammers are put on a pedestal like God looked at. You know, a lot of women, they'll say, and I'm not saying all, but a few women will say, I want to date a scammer.
Okay.
Right, and it's because of what it's looked at and viewed as. It's viewed as he's rich. Most of the scammers I know, they make a couple dollars and go back to being broke over and over and over. That's most of the scammers I know. I don't know a bunch of scammers that's rich and wealthy. I don't know none. I know there's some that get a lick and they go back to being broke.
Right.
Reason why I said defense mechanism, because I feel like our culture, we do this a lot. You know you're dead wrong. You know you're dead wrong, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna push it over to somebody else so you don't take the baggage for being wrong. You're wrong. That's a bad song. Mines are very impressionable.
Yes.
You got young kids. I saw a video. It's kids on a bus where on my scamming where they spend at 4, 5, 6 years old singing this, and then when they 12, 13 thoughts. Why
you got to also fault the parents for allowing them to know that. My kids don't know that music. If I call my 12-year-old right now, well, she's 11 going on 12, I say to her right now, hey, who is Megan Thee Stallion? She gonna say
She might not know.
No,
right?
she gonna say Megan is a name and the Stallion is a male horse. That's what she gonna say to you.
But
Because I
think-
don't introduce her to that culture.
I think a lot of things are impressionable. You're right, but I don't think that we hold celebrities to a higher standard than we should. I think that in your household, you're responsible for your children. And yes, you may not know and you may not be able to contain or restrict everything they see, but you're responsible for that.
Goes
It's
back
no
to the
one
parents.
else's. It's not
She's
Young
right.
Miami's job to raise your daughter. And yes, there's influence when the kids are hearing the music because like I said, you can't control what happens outside of your home when you're not there. But you have we grew up with a lot of music. Dipset didn't make everyone a gangbanger. You had a lot of people that listened to it that wasn't gangbanging. They just liked the music, like Q said. So I feel like we got to take accountability for our kids and know that, all right, we had Lil' Kim back in the day. We had Foxy Brown back in the day. So we can't sit here and blame Young Miami for her song when you got to be blamed for parent your child and let them know, even if you hearing that, this is not what we do.
Can I ask you a
Period,
question?
you know?
How many people you saw in our generation who had their pants on backwards because of a group? What was the group called?
Crisscross? Is it
What was the
Crisscross?
song?
What's the song?
Jump.
Oh, Joe,
Jump.
yeah, maybe one day, yeah.
So that's how influential music is. But I think now we can really see that how impactful it is.
Yeah.
To the point
Because of
where
social media.
Listen, they put a lot of people. Some of the music put people to take risks with their freedom in jail.
Yeah.
Look at everyone. You got young kids running around here with something called the Pooh Shiesty mask. When I grew up, it was called, I don't even want to say the term of it, but it was called something completely different. But they were running around here with the Pooh Shiesty on.
Yeah.
And look at Pooh Shiesty, he's a crash out. And this is what these guys, they immortalize. But again, this is what we're taught. We give these people these pedestals and then we get mad at the fact that they give us exactly what it is. I can't get mad at somebody you done took from nothing, hasn't done nothing special for the culture, and you've given them this platform. Of course, they don't know no better.
Right.
They're gonna do exactly what they know. If you tell somebody right now, straight from the projects, don't know nothing about nothing, and you give them a platform, all they're gonna do is talk about what they know. So I don't know her to be such an intellect. I feel like from what I've ever heard of Young Miami's music, it's been very low IQ music. Very low IQ for me. You know, respectfully, I don't know. I'm not saying she's low IQ, but the music that she puts out is definitely
I
very low
don't
IQ
know
music.
her music either, but I just feel like I said, we can't hold these celebrities accountable. Someone said before, whatever happens, a family night, whatever. I think there's certain things that we can do to maybe not keep things out of your household, because again, people are exposed. It's a different time than when me and you were growing up. We're 40, so we're not going to compare the generation now to us back then. The exposure is a lot different.
100%.
But parents still have to be held accountable for their children. What happens
I
in
want
your
somebody to
house?
answer that question at the bottom. Someone with the red box. Question.
Question.
Read that
Why
out,
is the-
Tyler. I like that question.
GJL1225 said, question, why is the culture so offended by correction? Great question.
Because this is a narcissistic aspect of our culture. Our culture has heavy narcissism in it. I don't believe that most people are narcissists. I believe that a lot of people have traits. And I think one of the traits is the inability to be corrected because of the fact of how it makes you feel. See, when you're being checked, it feels like someone who, like I told you last time, I can correct my friend. I told you can check me. Right? But it's a respect thing still.
Right.
But I can still check my friend. I can check my boy. I can check my group. I can check my team. And they can also check me if I'm not coming correct.
Right.
Especially when we represent each other. I do believe that we've been taught that correcting is an attack. And therefore we become very defensive. But the only way you learn is by people that can see you better than you can see yourself, but you don't want to listen to people that see you and view you better than you view yourself. That's a problem within itself right there. We're looking dead at you and telling you this is the issue, but you're so offended by the fact that you're making it us the villains when you know we love, we will protect you, we'll be there for you. That's kind of scary. I think the first thing people must acknowledge is like, you know what? What is this? A learning moment or an attack moment? I think this is a learning moment. Once you can identify this as a learning moment, you let your guards down and be receptive. The only way people learn is by being receptive. And most people aren't receptive. And that's our problem in our culture in itself.
Why do you think a lot of us are so drawn to that, though? Drawn to the Young Miamis, a lot of women, the Cardi B's, the all of these social media influencers. Why do you think a lot of women are drawn to those and those are their idols as opposed to?
Because they told that they living their best life, they traveling out. Remember I told you that less than 1% of OnlyFans people make over $10,000.
Right.
But based on the charts of OnlyFans, it looks like a lot of those girls make a lot of money. But the reality is OnlyFans has become the Backpage. Backpage was a place where women went to sell their vaginas. OnlyFans has become the same aspect where women are online selling their vagina. So if you see that girl in Nebraska, then you see that girl in Colorado, then you see that girl in Cali, then you see that girl in Philly, that girl is flying different locations selling her body. But she will never tell you her personal business because every time you see her everywhere, that's all she's doing. If 1% of OnlyFans creators only make $10,000 or more, 1%. That means 99% makes less than anywhere near $10,000 a year. A year. So it's $10,000 a year. So that means where is this money coming from? That means these women are selling clearly their vaginas, and then they got these young women believing that you don't have to work hard. You have an asset that can make you a lot of money. But again, you're teaching them to lower their standards, but that can only be the devil at work. And teaching the most powerful thing we have is the Black Queen. The Black Queen standing next to a king is the most immaculate team that could ever be created. That's Voltron within itself. But now we telling our women the same way they crucified our men with the music and made us think a certain way psychologically. They're doing the same thing to the women. And these women are eating it up because they feeding them the feminist mentality. But what's the problem though with that feminist mentality is the sacrificial lambs. And a lot of cases when those children come out, their children lose. And when you say it, it's like, no, you're missing a major component in a child,
Right.
which is the masculinity. So right there, a woman screaming is just a woman screaming. That don't make her strong or tough. A lot of times women feel like 'cause they can raise their voice, no, that don't make you
But
tough.
what about the men that are paying for this? Like, what about the men that are flying the women out? Like you said, for every woman who's selling her vagina, there has to be someone she's selling it to.
Agreed.
I'm not assuming she's flying out
Those
to
are
have sex
bozos,
with
though.
animals. But
Well, you know,
what
people,
about
you know
the
that
men
people are sick. Right
doing
now,
this?
respectfully, one of my favorite writers, music writers of all time, is in prison because of his weirdness. I don't want to say his name, but I'm still a fan of his music. But in the same breath, he's in prison right now because of his freak-offs and his nastiness. But yet, still in the same breath, just because you have money, it only intensifies your weirdness. So these people that have money, a lot of them are weird. So you have a man that has money. Now he has access to everything that's in his head. Every dream he has in his head, he knows some
can
woman
bring it,
will
yeah.
fulfill it for the right payment. So again, he knows in his head, he's like, for the right payment, some woman is out there that will fulfill my fantasies. And that's a sad part. Just because he's strong financially, don't mean he's strong mentally. Could be very weak and weird, you know? But that music is definitely playing a major part in our culture.
But why do you think our culture also pushes it so much? Why
don't
do
think
we
it's our
push
culture.
out the good music or, well, we're talking about black culture. I'm saying if we see
What
that
is
a
black
lot.
culture? I think we need to answer. We need to know what is black culture. What do you guys think?
Let me
black
just say this real
culture
quick. Would you put a Jamaican restaurant in an all-white town?
No.
Why?
I mean, yes and no. I think yes, just to introduce them to the culture, because I think if you put it there, people would do it. But I say no because if they never had it, they may not come there and support the business.
And that's what I feel about
not because
women.
it's black, just because it's like if they don't never had Jamaican food.
That's
they're
what
not
I feel like with music. I feel like people mirror what was the last successful music. So whatever is hot, they follow the trend.
Keep following that,
They
right?
follow the
Okay.
trend. And the powers that be who actually control these platforms and these artists, they push this because they realize that they benefit from the ignorance of our culture. They benefit from it. They benefit from these strong black women talking about some, I don't need a man. They benefit from the men who believe they don't need a woman. They benefit from that. Because you know why? Statistics show that our children going to jail and our daughters going to keep making the babies. They're the incubators who procreate life, who keeps giving the children to the system. And
Right.
it's a repetitional thing. It's a pattern.
All right.
Over and over and over. So they winning off of it. They're like, yo, I love it. Right? They don't. Do you think they care about fixing our culture? Look at the school system right now. If you want to have a conversation about the school system, you don't even have to do the work anymore. You're still going to guarantee to graduate high school.
Right.
You're guaranteed to graduate high school. You
Right.
could literally have, if you do the studies, these people having 30 GPAs, a 30. And still walk across the high school stage. There was an Asian kid.
A 30?
Yeah, he was talking about one of the
4.0.
streamers. You know the
Is that-
streamer Rakai? He said, I don't understand how the hell Rakai is graduating high school. I've been around him for 2 years and he hasn't went to school once. He hasn't went to school not once. He said, but he about to walk across the stage. And you want to hear something? This is the kid who has a platform who is teaching young people to think like him. You don't see some of the kids do the most foolish things on earth now? Where they see that on TikTok, where they see that on IG, where they see that on Facebook. They see the most foolish behavior and it's like, damn, if I do this, I'm gonna be lit too. But they don't even know that most of these people that you see that have like that don't have, most influencers don't make that much money. It's all lies.
So what do you think we need, since we've identified the problem, what do you guys think are some of the solutions? People on the live, you guys here, what do you think are some of the things that we could do to...
Ooh, read that, Ty. She's right. A sweet sugar, that's 100,000%.
Public schools are K through 12
Hold on, Ty, that's a fact. A super fact. Say that again.
Public schools are K through 12 daycares.
100% fact. Bomb, but give up bomb on that one. That's a fact. If your district is in the district that's pushing it, that's why I said a lot of times people say you're selling out, but reality is if you put your children in a school that has a bunch of Asian kids,
Right.
academic curriculum goes up. If you put your child in a district that has a bunch of Indians,
It goes
academic
up.
curriculum goes up. If your children is in a school with a bunch of Nigerians, Africans, the academic curriculum goes up because the parents force and push education.
First,
When your
yeah.
children isn't in those districts, they don't push education to the magnitude of the more districts that more of the parents are more involved.
Right.
When the parents are more involved, you hold the teacher at higher standards because now you and the teacher are on the same level. If an Asian child gets a phone call home from a teacher, the Asian child is in trouble.
Yeah.
Some black families, they're gonna go against the teacher.
So when I was bartending, I would have these teachers, right, from Roosevelt, love them. Two of them has passed away, may their soul rest in peace. I don't know if everyone's here from Roosevelt. And I think they taught at, the two elementary schools in
Okay.
Roosevelt. And when they would come to the bar, they would say, they would have things in those kids' folders from September, October. Parents didn't look at it. Come the next school term, January, February, a lot of these things were in the folder. Letters that needed to be signed, test scores that were failed or whatever. Come now the parent-teachers conference. Now these parents are yelling at them, well, I didn't see it. Well, I didn't this. Well, I didn't. It's like, okay, but it was in the book bag. Well, why didn't you call me? But it was in the, you're not checking your child's backpack to see what they're doing, especially you're talking about 7, 8, 9-year-olds. We're not talking about 15, 16, 17-year-olds where they should tell you. You're talking about kids that you should check. This is what I'm saying. It starts at home. I think a lot of times you have a lot of parents that they expect the teachers to be the everything.
100%.
They expect the teachers to teach their
100%.
kids every single thing. And it's like, no, babe, you have a duty as a parent to instill certain things in your child. Like the teacher is gonna, we work hand in hand. You know what I mean? When when my kids' teachers call my house, my kids already know it's up. The little one comes home, he's in a panic. My teacher called you today because whatever you did, there's going to be consequences for it. And it's not beating. It's literally like we're taking stuff away. This is summertime, and I literally pay $70 an hour, 2 days a week for my younger one to get tutoring.
Same
because
with me.
he's not I'm not going to say as academic as my older one, but he's not. He's not into his academics, where my older one, Mr. High Honor Roll, Mr. Honor Society, Mr. Everything. My younger one isn't like that. He's a sports guy. He wants to play all day. I know he's in camp now, and if I don't help him pick up a book, he ain't gonna do it.
Because they regress in the summer.
But I work.
Yeah,
I
but
work. I have 2 businesses and I have a full-time job. I'm not gonna be able to do it all summer. So you know what? I'm gonna pay for that because I know if I don't do that, he's gonna fall behind.
100%.
So I'd rather pay the $150 a week, $140, a week to help him. So when he goes into 4th grade, he's not behind. Than for me to let him go into 4th grade and be mad at the teacher because she's not doing her job.
You want to hear something?
You know?
And I do say this a lot, and a lot of people get offended when you have this conversation. I genuinely believe that blacks in America, if they thought like more foreign blacks, they do better in America. I'll be honest with you, if more blacks in America thought like more foreign blacks in America, they would do better in America. Because the reason why I say that, and I'm not going to say all of us, so guys, don't take it like I'm calling everybody out. But the one thing I do see culturally, a lot of people have something called a high sense of entitlement. A lot of them have, they're still waiting for the 40 acres and a mule that's never going to come. I'm being honest. They still looking for and still blaming people when they have the opportunity of changing things and they just don't see it. Like, for instance, I grew up in a town where it was a lot of Haitians, a lot.
They don't play.
And the thing, they're very high on academics.
Oh, yeah, they don't
very
play.
High on
Education
academics.
is a big thing.
Mandatory. And they still believe heavy in marriage. They still believe in marriage, right? But watch this. So the one thing I would see, a lot of those Haitian guys, I learned some Creole from living there. It's called Kunzi bis. They say, oh, Papa Kunzi bis, that means your father drives a bus. A lot of them fathers drove buses, Ubers, taxis. These are the initial, the 80s and 90s fathers. They drove buses, cabs, all of these things, and they still put their kids in private schools. Because their priority was the future of what their children was gonna be. But I do see now more people are too busy trying to still live and not live for to set up their children. They still want to have fun. They still want to turn up. I see people who go into a spring break and go into Carnival who 50 years old. I'm like, you at Carnival 50, 60 years old, you still at Carnival. And I'm saying, you're 40 years old, 30 years old, your kid, they got every Jordan, but they don't have every good grade. And I'm like, but that's a problem within itself. But if you call them out, you know what happens? They get mad as hell. They get mad like, oh, you disrespectful. Oh, you trying to disrespect black people. And I'm like, see, the problem is, y'all got to stop with this black Caribbean. Black is black. The only thing that separates black people is the mentality. I know African Americans who have great mentalities. I know Jamaicans who have great mentalities. I know Haitians who have great mentalities. I know Haitians who have bad mentalities. I know Jamaicans who have bad mentalities. And I know African Americans who have bad mentalities. But the problem is we have to identify that everyone is not the same psychologically and mentally. Right. And understanding that your children become your number one priority when you have children. I know people who have mad kids and still depending on the system to take care of their kids. They still depend on it, whether male or female. I had a guy the other day that told me, he said he don't need to take care of his kid because his baby mother's on Section 8.
I do think priorities are
That ain't
skewed,
crazy?
though. I agree, but I agree with you when you say the priority is different. I think that you have a culture now where you said they focus more on what's on their kids' bodies versus what's in their head.
Yes.
You know, that's what's important to some people. I'm not going to say all. I've seen people where it's like, you know,
That's the
they
trauma.
need to have the most lavish birthdays. They need to have the most lavish proms. They need to have the most lavish first day of school outfit. Everything needs to be lit, but it's like, okay, but if your kid is falling behind, what are we going to do about that? Well, how are we going to help them? For me, I'll sacrifice, and I like to, you know, put myself together, put my kids together. But as I did it with my first son, and I remember I told you this, me and my husband had this conversation where he was like, yo, every time he wants something, you buy it for him. That was my only child at the time. I felt like, of course, like I got it. He once said, I'm gonna buy it. But my son used to have this, he never had this real hissy fits. It was like in the store, he would just get mad, like, why not? But why not? And I'd be like, you know what? Yeah, why not?
Spoiled.
He needs, it's my only child. I didn't care. And his thing was, it's not about whether the toy costs $1 or $100. It's about him feeling like every time he steps in the store, he should get something. And we need to break that habit.
100%.
And me and him used to argue all the time. Like, why are you making such a big deal? It's only $5. I don't care. Doesn't care. I don't care how it is. Yeah. Once I started saying no, he would be like,
you get attitude.
My son. But now that he's almost 13, he's so used to it that he's just like, okay.
It is what it is.
It is. And then my second one, it's crazy because he wasn't raised like that at all. Oh, it doesn't even faze him when you say no. Yeah. Mom, can I get that $15 game? No. Okay.
Done.
It's not even a discussion.
No, but you
know what I'm saying? So
if you look at the logic though, right, you see most black people, we grew up a lot poverty. Mm-hmm. And a lot of us grew up in poverty. So a lot of us believe in giving the children the items that we never had, but they don't believe in teaching them the things that they didn't learn.
Yeah.
So now you're missing a whole piece. Okay, the kid is fly, the kid looks good. So you're giving them the look, right, that you never had. And that could be a trauma within yourself, like you didn't have the latest Jordans, you didn't dress nice, so guess what, I refuse to let my kid have to go through that. I get it. But the reality is those struggles are what created your character and molded you to the person you are, right? Especially when you had to earn those things.
Yeah.
But when a child becomes, or he's always or she's always receiving, what happens is they become very entitled. And that's when now someone has to date this entitled child or keep the same standards that mommy and daddy taught them they're deserving of, even if they didn't work for it. They didn't even work for these things and you feel like you're supposed to have these things.
Right.
And that's horrible parenting within itself.
But on the flip side, do you think though back in our days, things were also so much cheaper? We didn't want of certain things like now. Back in our days, they didn't have the PS5s and the games that were $70 and the controllers that were $200. So now when your kid does come to you and wants something, it's going to be expensive. Like, it's not like when we went to our mom, like, I want this Barbie doll, and it was $20. Now, nobody's playing with Barbie. The bikes now, I mean, my mother bought my son a bike 2 Christmases ago. It was a $1,200 bike, and I thought that was crazy.
With the big wheels?
The big, it wasn't an electric bike, a regular pedal one, but and so I said, why would you? Right? Why would you do that? But for her, that's the one he wanted, blah, 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 blah. $1,200 for a bike? Like, is that real life? Like, back if I would have asked my mother for a $1,200 bike when I was 10, she would have looked at me like I was crazy. 100%. But is this the price? Is this what bikes cost now? Like, we're getting $1,200 bikes for 10, 11, 12-year-olds? Like, it's a different time. So, like, it's just a different time.
In that scenario, who's the problem? Because again, if they don't have it, they become more insecure. Because you can mask insecurity by putting physical things on the insecurity to make it feel better than what it actually is. So again, it's fake. It's like Halloween. A lot of us put on costumes, and our children learn how to put on the same costumes that we've learned how to put on. A lot of us have learned how to hide poverty by looking like we're rich. And then what happens is your children get older, they learn how to hide poverty by looking like they're rich. Yeah. And it becomes a pattern all over again, where your child will drive a BMW, have every check engine light on it if the car there is, but guess what? It's still a BMW. I know kids right now, one of the kids said to me, they asked him, would you rather a 2020 car or would you rather a 2010 car? But the 10 car was a BMW, the 2020 was a Honda. He said, I'd rather the BMW. He didn't care that the BMW was a hoopty. He cared that the aura it would give off because he's driving allegedly a BMW. And I said, you see the mentality? But when you teach, once someone said Hondas will last longer. But again, he had to be taught that it's not about what you drive. A car gets you from point A to point B. He's not taught that. He's taught like you got to look like the man or the woman in this expensive car. But in reality, it's not.
Someone said before, she no longer gives her child, she teaches them financial literacy. Do you think that is something that we lack a lot now, is teaching our children financial literacy and the value of $1 as opposed to just spending the dollar?
Yeah, because we sit back and we think that the children is going to get it. The reality is you have to raise a child up in it. So while you're raising your child with this mentality, they will gravitate towards that mentality because they've always been taught it. You can't wait till a kid is 18, 19, 16, 17, never taught them financial literacy, never took them shopping and showed them how to shop. I used to send my son to the food store. He used to buy the most expensive stuff because he didn't know any better, but then I used to get mad at him. But in reality, I said that was my fault because I should have showed him and taught him how to shop. So again, we have to look at it. We're raising the humans are the adults of tomorrow. And while we're raising the adults of tomorrow, we got to teach the children of today how to be the adults of tomorrow. So we have to procreate that mentality as they're learning how to make up their own bed, how to advocate for themselves, how to speak up, how to, these things really matter. You have people that are 30, 40, 50 years old, they're scared to death to even speak up for themselves. You ever see some people, they walk in the room, they're like this, mad timid? I'm like, because no one ever let that person speak up for themselves. Now, as an adult, that person still can't speak up for themselves. Mm-hmm. Right? Go ahead, Tyler.
I also think our culture, we have to do better with working on ourselves internally. Like, it's been times I tell people, yo, I'm about to meditate. They laughing at me. And it's like, I'm growing internally and you guys aren't. I feel like black culture is very like, this is who I am and that's that. I'm gonna be this for the rest of my life. Nobody's changing me, and it's weird for me to do different things out the box to help me grow and elevate. We're so set and stuck in our ways, we don't really want to do the internal work to help us be better.
So we do have to answer that question, but where they said we haven't answered the question, what is black culture? So we're going to answer that. But to add to what Q said, I do agree with you where a lot of these school districts, the parents show up. I think if we showed up a lot more for our children, we would get what we want. If we advocated as much for our schools and the budgets and passing certain things like we do in certain districts where they're not getting it. Roosevelt, Wyandanch, Hempstead, Uniondale. We have to show up. I feel like we want. Yes, right? I feel like we want a lot, but we're not doing anything to really incorporate that change. So it's like you're just fighting a dead battle. You know what I mean? Like we have to show up. We have to show up in our schools. We have to show up for this meeting. I do live in a predominantly white neighborhood. And at these budget meetings, these parents are showing up. They're there. They're showing up. They want to know what's happening. They want to know what budgets need to be passed. They want to know what they need to do. I think for us as a community, for black people, I could speak from that, is we don't show up as much and we expect this change to just happen. They're cutting our school budgets. They're taking away a lot of things because we're not there fighting for it. So it's like you get what you get and you don't get upset. You know what I'm saying? So
we gotta definitely we gotta up our standards as far as how we parent and then holding each other accountable. Yeah. Like that's the one thing I do see. Like the one thing my first job outside of the barbershop, I used to work in a Jewish synagogue. I worked at a Jewish, that's how I learned how to save money. I used to work at, you used to work
at a synagogue?
For years.
Doing what?
I used to run the head custodian there.
Oh.
So from the time I was like 16, 17, I started there. So I learned the Baruch Atah Adonai, I learned all of that. I'm a language guy. I learn language when I'm around it. Okay. I'm gonna pick it up because I joke about it and then I start saying it. I know the Shalom Aleichem, I know all of that.
All right. We gotta fact check you because we don't know what you say.
But those are all real words. My mentor is Jewish also.
But question, they want to know, what do you think is black culture? What does black culture mean to you?
I think black culture has to have standards. I think culture is what you believe. Culture is how you conduct yourself. Culture is accomplishments. Those are the things that make a culture so strong. This is why you can see a Nigerian kid and a Black American kid, and this kid that you laughing at who may have a different tongue when he speaks English. He knows who he is because he has a culture. There's a lot of people that don't know who their culture is. So when you see black culture is a big pot. Everything you've seen in a black culture from Africa, Haiti, Jamaica, that's all our culture.
Right.
And a lot of us feel like because we're not born where they're born, they don't understand black is black.
Right.
Anything that happened with black people is what happened to you. So for instance, I celebrate 1804. 1804 is the day that Haitians got their independence. I'm not Haitian. But that was the first black place to get their independence. And I represent them every time. I eat my soup jumu with them because this is a major accomplishment for black culture. But again, we ignore it because I ain't Haitian. Like, yo, Haiti is a place. You're black, right? Jamaica is a place, but you're black. Let's get beyond that weird stuff. That's the issue within itself. When you having conversations with a person that's not intellectual, they can't see themselves. I'm looking dead at a Haitian. You look just like me. There was a documentary. And it made me tear up a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I watched, there was an outhouse over the ocean and one of the guys was using the restroom. So the feces was going into the water. On the other side, the kids was playing in the pool, in the ocean. On the other side, the other kids was bathing. So one person was using the restroom, one kid was playing in the water, and the other kids was bathing. And I'm sitting there looking like, as a black man, that don't bother me. That's the thing. You can look at that and don't think that's your people? You could tell somebody did a number on you. You can't look, if he don't open his tongue, he don't open his mouth, that person look just like you. And you can't see that person as you, that means they've done a number on you. They've done a number on you. We so disconnected from our reality that you looking at a black person and you're going based on where they're born at and can't see that if I pull them that lineage, that person gonna connect some way, somehow to you. Some way, somehow.
But do you think Black culture is perseverance too, because we've overcame so much, and
Say it
we've
again?
had to? It's perseverance because we've overcame so much, and have had to just really fight our way, prove ourselves, push our way, and that's why sometimes. Any way we could get it, we just trying to get it because it's like we're
I think
we're
we're
the last
scared.
to eat at the table,
I think that's
and
what it
we're
is. We're
always
scared.
counted out.
Remember that movie, The Django?
Yes.
Remember the Samuel L. Jackson scene? Who's that on that near?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how a lot of us feel. They get intimidated when another Black person is moving up. They get scared. They don't want, because I'm gonna be honest with you, it's sad to say, and a lot of people don't want to be honest. As a man or a woman elevates successful wise, you're more inclined to get killed by someone that looks just like you opposed to someone that don't. And that's a sad reality, and we have to call it what it is. Nipsey Hussle, killed by a Black man, right? Big L, killed by a Black man. Biggie Smalls, killed by a Black man. Tupac, killed by a Black man. XXX, killed by a Black man. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep naming reality that you're more, as you elevate, you're more inclined to get killed by an ignorant Black man or a Black woman opposed to someone that don't look like you. And it's so scary, but it's just like, but if you say it, they get offended. I'm like, no, we have to help our brothers and sisters who may have not gotten to that level mentally because we assume age warrants maturity.
But
in
speak
reality,
on that.
it don't.
Why is it in other cultures? Why is it that Asians aren't jealous of Asians? Spanish, I'm not going to say all.
I just want to say
but
this.
Why is it that
Nipsey
it's
was my
so,
guy. Just so you know this, Nipsey was a gangbanger based on culture and where he come from. Just like an African can be in a tribe just because when they say they you know, when they say they Igbo, right? You're in Yoruba, you know what that is? Those are tribes. So in the culture where he comes from, Crippin' and Bloodin' is a culture for them. We may not understand it because we don't come from that, but where they come from, that's a tribe for them, right? Because there's the connection for them. But the reality is, Nips employed more people that look like him, and that more people who came from bad situations than that person has ever did. Nipsey did a lot for his community. So regardless of whatever, yes, he started off at a bad starting point, but he started turning off a new leaf, teaching the people how to do more and how to employ people that look like him more. So I just want to say that respectfully. Nipsey was on Bitcoin and all of these things way before anybody else, since 2010. Nipsey was ahead of his time. So we can say whatever you want. Again, Malcolm X was a pimp and a stone cold hustler. But Malcolm X became Malcolm X. So again, one thing about biblically, the Bible shows you the 12 disciples was every bit of bad people, but God shows you the power of change because he was able to show you that this person, I can take this person who was outside wilding, but yet and still I can make you a great person. I can show you that change warrants the greatest things. So let's not call somebody out for what they were.
True.
Let's call about somebody out for where they're going.
Where they're going,
Let's not do
yeah.
that. That's the problem with our culture. Again, I could tell you, a woman could tell me she used to be a whore, I would respect her because that means at one point she may not have valued herself. So now she can value herself. So am I going to continue to hold her
Treat
to
her
who
like
she
a whore,
was?
right?
That's kind of
I
crazy.
agree.
They say he who without sin cast the first stone. She without sin cast the first stone. So I'm just calling it what it is.
That's true, Barbara.
I'm saying?
She said Selena got killed by one of her own people too. That's a fact.
100%. You're more inclined to get killed by somebody that look like you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, again, I'm not going to argue the statement. I just say when you know certain things, you know certain things. And the reality is people that don't come from certain environments, like for instance, a person can have two parents in their house, had a great home, come from a great environment, mother had a career, dad had a career, and then they laughing at somebody that didn't have those aesthetics. And then they look down on them because I'm like, that person don't know nobody. See, when you open the fridge, right? You open the fridge, you wonder what you was gonna eat tonight. That person opened the fridge, they wonder how the hell they gonna eat tonight. Y'all didn't have the same story. You open the fridge, you wonder what the hell you're gonna eat tonight. They open the fridge, they wonder how the hell they gonna eat tonight. See, the difference is me, I grew up, I had to wonder how I was gonna eat tonight. My son grew up, he wonders what he wants to eat tonight. You see the difference? So again, I just have to understand we come from two different worlds.
Yeah.
We just come from two different worlds.
Yeah.
And to be a great human is to understand everybody's starting point ain't the same, right? And that's just what we have to respect. And just know that some people learn their value later. They learn their self-worth later. It's just reality. Everyone is not the same. I'm saying, Ty, you got something?
But that's why I say we judge too much. And even on here, like sometimes we always say we don't look at the comments, we don't this, but you see a lot of people judging. And when we look at it, we're all one. Like everybody is just trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying?
But you
Whether
gotta
it's the
watch the
right
trolls,
way,
though.
the wrong way, it doesn't matter. We're all just trying to figure it out. We're not going to all get it right. Nobody's perfect, but give people grace. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody got something they're going through. Everybody got something they're battling.
Listen,
Like,
you think I teach a lot?
do I think you,
Like
you
I
do teach
give
a
a lot
lot
of game out? I was a super gangbanger. Super
Nipsey was
gangbanger.
the KKK to the
Super gangbanger. But again, if you hold me to who I was, you'll never see where I'm going.
Yeah.
Because again, you need people like that experience both sides of the coins, that can lead other people out of the darkness.
And you gotta respect
a
growth.
a person can't show me the light if they ain't never been in the darkness. You can't show me the light if you ain't never been darkness. The only thing that can save any human is a testimony. Testimony is what save people.
Yeah.
Right? When you see somebody like, damn, this person was like this. You think when they got AA, right? They bring back the old addicts to do what? Inspire the current addicts. Because the old addicts is going to inspire the current addicts. Because that's how life is. And they're all fighting addiction. They all fighting. See, some people laugh at addicts, but I'm like, that's an addiction. That's a real mental illness.
Yeah.
But again, we laugh at these people. I'm like, this is crazy. You're laughing at someone with a mental illness. Mental illness.
A lot of people like to keep you where you're at, though. They don't like to see where you're going. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, imagine you being successful and you say, yo, you used to be in a gang or whatever, and you get into an argument with your homeboys like, yo, you ain't nothing but a gangbanger. You have people that will still say that. But I'm saying, but they will say that. They won't see you as who you are now. Cue the author, cue the musician, cue the podcaster, cue the real estate mogul, cue the father, cue the boy. They're not going to see you as that. That person is going to look at you from where you were as opposed to where you are, because that's just sometimes how people are. Like, I don't pay no mind to none of that.
You know
I
what
don't
it is?
care.
It's sometimes in chapters of your book, wherever people met you, that's where they hold you.
Yeah.
So again, you know, remember when we was in school, we used to have something called a bookmark? Whatever chapter they put that bookmark in, that's where they hold you in your life at.
Yeah.
They're going to hold you in that same bookmark chapter, because they don't realize that you had to go through the chapter for you to fulfill the whole journey and purpose of your life. You had to go through this whole thing, because the power of growth, the power of logic, the power of understanding usually comes from experience.
Yeah.
And the sad part is people that have no experience, they judge people who have certain experience. I don't go to a person that's never been married to learn about marriage. I go to somebody that's been married to learn about marriage. I'm not, if I want my kid, I'm doing something for prevention, I'm gonna bring somebody that grew up in the streets to talk to him about the streets. I'm not gonna take him to the guy that's the CEO of a hedge fund. I'm gonna teach him, I'm gonna take him to someone that actually grew up in them streets.
But do you judge? One thing I don't do, and I think that's why, so I have one of my friends who always says, yo, Shay, you are such a humanitarian. I think one thing that I've learned in my life is to never judge people. I don't like to look at people for what they do,
007?
who they are.
Block him. Block him. Enough.
I don't judge people. I think everyone is at a place in their life because that's where they are. So when I went to church today, the pastor preached such a good sermon about we got to accept people for who they are, even if it doesn't align with what we want. Or, you know, so I've learned that you have a doctor, right? You have a brain surgeon who saved lives,
Yes.
and then you have the janitor who keeps the toilet clean and who keeps the bathroom clean and who keeps the hospital clean. And I'm still going to give them the same respect because they both work with each other to make sure that the hospital is running.
Yes.
I don't look at one person as, okay, well, because that person went to school and they're making this, well, I'm going to look down on that person. I feel like we just have in society now, we put people in categories. We categorize people, and I don't like to do that. I look at everybody, like I said, guys, we all in this big world together, just trying to figure it out. We just trying to figure it out.
100%,
you know what I mean?
100%.
So
One of my favorite activists is one of the guys that ran with the Black Panther Party. I don't know if y'all know Dr. Huey P. Newton. Huey P. was a gangster.
congrats, Sid. I just wanted to say
Just
that.
so you know, Huey was
Congrats.
a gangster. Huey was a super gangster, but yet still very educated. Very, very educated, but he understood that we stood for principles, morals, and integrity. And he had to stand up for his culture and his people.
Right.
So the reality is, like, we have to learn sometimes the why. There's always a why, right? If people don't, that's what we don't look at. I'm gonna tell you something. If there's a guy, say hypothetically they sold something illegal, right? You look at, he's a drug dealer. Well, what if the person sold drugs because they felt like there was no other way? And this is genuine with the environment they come from. And then you say, oh, there is another way, because you saw other ways. That person didn't have the same
But on the
lens.
flip side, it doesn't make it right that they
It
chose
don't make
that
it right. I
lifestyle,
never
'cause
said it
that's
was
a
right.
choice.
No, it
That's
is a choice, but
right.
it ain't a choice when you believe there is no other choice. It's only a choice when you know there's other choices. To where that person can come from, they can only see that as the only way. The only way, right? And again, it's because, again, most young people that go to gangs, they go to gangs because of the lack of love in their homes. It's easy to grab a young man or a woman to put him in a gang if they come from environments that didn't show the level of affection or love as a family. So guess what they're looking for? They're looking for family. They're looking for love, right?
Yeah.
Again, enough is enough. But that's what, go ahead, Tyler.
Speaking of church, I was actually gonna bring it up. So I went to church today, and it's been a minute, but I went.
Tyler, you went to church?
I did go to church.
Is that
but
why your shirt is buckled up to your neck?
I'm always,
to your
I'm
chin?
always fly. I'm always fly. But I noticed something that I feel like a lot of these church spaces are very performative and judgmental in a sense. Because I walk in there and I see everybody is filled with trauma. Like you can see it on a lot of people's aura. It's like a hospital of people with trauma judging other people. And it just felt, I don't know, it felt performative to me. It felt like, y'all not real. Because me, I'm in my faith. I do what I do. My home is my church. Me. You know what I mean? I make my home my church.
You read the Bible a lot? But you understand it to a degree?
I understand it to a degree.
You know, Jesus was outside getting busy amongst the people, right?
100%.
So a church don't make, your church is in your heart.
And that's
Right.
what I
The Bible says where there are three or more in the
presence.
presence of our name, then we have a church right now. See, the problem is we made a place, the thing, and in reality, the devil can go into those places also. And he can fellowship right along with you. Because his spirit ain't the same spirit you have. So reality is, yeah, because we're in that spot and we praying with these people, they could be praying to somebody else. Just understand.
And just because people go to church don't mean they're there for God. A lot of people just show up on Sundays because it's just somewhere to go. You know, everybody ain't going there for the right reasons. You just got to make sure you're going there for that reason. You going there to give God thanks.
Some
You
people
going
go
there
there
to
for the
praise
local
God,
gossip.
you
They
know?
just go to the gossip, ain't more gossip. Some people go up just to show
There's
what
a
they
lot
got
of
on.
gossip in a lot of churches, but it depends on what you're there for. Right. As Adele said, I go there to get the word of God. I don't care what's going on in the church. You know what I mean?
Listen,
That's
reality.
why sometimes it's so hard to come after church and come sit with you.
Shots fired. But the reality is, look,
That's my brother. I love him. I was talking ish.
But I just tell you, but we have to just be mindful and less judgmental because of the fact that a lot of people don't have the same stories. You know, I remember one time the girl said, one of the guys was like, she would know better. You had a kid at 16 years old, but he didn't know her whole story. He didn't know her whole story. Her uncle impregnated her.
Oh,
But again, you see you judging somebody.
you just judge, yeah.
There was another girl, she had 4 kids. You know what the guy said? Oh, she got 4 kids. She's single. The father of her children passed away. See, sometimes when you hear a piece of a story and not learn the whole totality of the story, you tend to just think that you know the whole story. It's like looking at a cover of a book and act like you know the whole story in the book.
Right.
I read that book. No, you actually looked at the cover of the book. Black Kendra.
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's a harsh mentality when you're talking to certain people and they don't know any better.
Like, I don't get why she's, yeah. Bye, Kendra.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but you don't worry about
Bye, girl.
people like
Enjoy
that.
your Sunday.
But before guys, guys, I want y'all to do me a
You're
favor.
weird.
Before we move forward, just do me a favor. When you see things like that, I need y'all to pray for these people, man. Like you don't get mad at those person. You pray for them though, man, because they be having like major issues within themselves. That's their trauma. She felt so convicted as passing through, she felt the need to stay and try to interrupt to get attention. You don't think there's something wrong with that person? Yo, you could have kept scrolling. If something that you didn't like, you could have kept scrolling. But you choose not to. But again, you want to interrupt because you care about attention. Those are the people that you pray for.
And to be on here posting such negative things on a
That's how they
podcast
feel
that's
about
trying to
themselves.
spew positivity. Me and Q may not always agree, but I will tell you guys this. I haven't said it in a long time, giving my brother his flowers, but he does so much for the community and so much for his people and his family. Like, he really comes on here every week. This man wears a million hats because I talk to Q all week. So this is not this. You see us here and we just going at it. I talk to my brother all week where he's owner of this and he's doing this and he's doing that, running around and doing things that he don't even get paid for other people. Though to sit here on here and just be spitting this is really just for knowledge and bring us all together to see what is the problem and how we could fix it. So you have trollers coming on here just talking ish. It's just weird.
100%.
I don't get it. Like, I really don't get it.
But
And
the person
sometimes
just
I'm
said
so
it.
invested in what y'all saying.
They be having
I'm never
demons.
focusing on him. It's
They be
weird.
having demons. They be having their own
what are
insecurities.
we doing wrong? Like, we don't have to agree, and you guys don't always have to agree, but that's when we have conversation. It's not anybody against anybody. It's deep conversation between our people as to see, okay, guys,
Yes.
what's going on? Let's talk about it.
We gotta talk about
And
it.
while we on here trolling and putting up clown faces and being negative, like, y'all are weird. Some
Super.
of y'all are weird. Dasani, I love you. It's not for
Sonny,
you.
that's the homie.
And for half of y'all on here, I love y'all. But some of y'all are really weird
They need
in
help.
your comments.
Need
Like,
help.
come on, guys.
They need help. They need help.
Y'all come
and
on
I
here
feel
and do
bad
this.
because it's easy to talk behind a screen, but it's hard to talk face to face.
Yeah.
And talk knowledge and talk about what you know. It's always, I would have said, I would have did. Hindsight is always 20/20. A lot of people talk foolishness.
It's
But
weird.
that's why I told you, I
But
don't
it
even
breaks my
entertain it.
heart. It don't break your heart. It breaks my heart because
don't,
I feel like
because
that's the
ones
issue.
we're talking about. But those are the
when
ones we
people
talking
come
about.
on, it's the issue.
Shay,
It's like, yo, you're
that person
the problem,
usually talking
bro.
about, they probably getting high in front of their kid.
Not getting
That person
high.
you talking about is
You
probably
be
sitting
doing
there.
too much.
Those be the ones. Those be the ones.
I saw this yesterday. I'm
telling you, they
walking
be
down
mad
the
as
street,
hell.
and it's a lady. I swear.
Wait,
she-
Mad
niggas
as hell.
and Twist said we agree. That's why we don't like when you're going against mostly everything. No, I don't go against everything Q says. I feel like when I come here, guys, I'm surrounded by men. It's all men. It's all men. My issue is
She
sometimes
said it's only three of us, guys.
We're gonna have real talk
It's only
now.
three of us.
Well, today it's only three of us. But
The max it be
typically,
is 4 of us.
4 to 5, depending if
No.
you have a friend or
No.
so come. That's not true.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay.
That's once in a while.
Come on.
I'll
Sometimes
give you
it's
once in
4
a
to
while.
5, and I'm the
Once in a
only
while.
woman. Sometimes I think that Q will say things where I'm forced to make a choice of do you think most women are this? And I have this conversation with him during the week. I'm like, I don't like when you say that to me because I can't speak for most women. So when he says to me, do you think most women are whores? Do you think most women are gold diggers? I can't answer that question, guys. I can't answer that question. So it's not me disagreeing with him. It's me saying, I don't think most women are whores, and we're getting on here talking about them. Let's give the flowers to the women that are not. Let's talk about the women that are doing amazing things, that are not out there looking for men to take care of them. Like, why are we always focused on the ones that are this way? If I'm not this, and I know a lot of you women are not this, on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, you guys are hardworking, you're doing what you need to do. Why should I sit here and agree with that? I don't want to agree with it. So it's not disagreeing with him. It's just, two things can be right at the same time.
Yeah, but what I say is, like, when you have these discussions, you will trigger and erupt a spirit that hasn't fully developed into its maturity. So when you start talking like this, a lot of people can't handle it. That's why I always tell you, just be mindful of the comments because you don't know who the person is. And that's why I always tell you that. It's not that I tell you don't read it, because I do value the people that support us and that show us mad love. They know I do, right? But in the same breath, you got to be mindful of who it could be. That could be a very disturbed person that's sitting there very disturbed, hurting because you just said you should have never had a bunch of children by somebody that didn't marry you. So now it hurts their spirit. I didn't diss her, but again, in order to fix, you have to own your mistake. If you're not willing to own your mistake or you own your poor decision, because everything is not a mistake. Some things are just poor decisions. I'm like, so you have to accept that as poor decision, right?
I love
You know
y'all
what I'm saying? That's
energy
just how we
too,
gotta
guys.
say it. We gotta
Yeah.
call it what it is. You made a poor decision, you have to own it and say, you know what, I'm moving forward, I'm not gonna be this way anymore.
Right.
But a lot of times, oh my God, you're calling me out on my stuff, so I hate you. No, you don't grow that way. You don't grow that way.
No, I don't.
And I'm like, again, I don't try to disrespect women, but I'm gonna always tell my truth. And from what I see is what I spew.
Right.
It's not good out here. There are good women, but I don't believe that's the majority anymore. There are good men, but I don't believe that's the majority anymore. I don't believe so. I'm just gonna be fair. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna take some call-ins right now, guys. We're gonna do
Who's
this.
calling my phone?
516-253-1150. One more time, 516-253-1150. Call in right now. Let's talk about what we're talking about today, guys. If you want to
Yeah,
add
put your
some value
headphones
to this
on.
conversation. Yeah, we need the headphones, guys. 516.
Thank you,
Sonny.
Dasani. I love Dasani.
Take it,
Dasani, when are you from New York?
Connecticut.
Oh, she's from Connecticut. I really love Dasani. She's so supportive and so positive.
Yeah.
I like her a lot. Wait, I have to ask my ladies a question though. Ladies, this is a makeup question. So what's the difference between setting powder and baking powder? Kevin said there's no such thing as a good woman.
I disagree.
It's because you haven't met one.
I disagree.
What's the difference between setting and baking, Dasani?
That's
I don't know how to use it. Like, how do I
no,
use
can I say this
setting
real
and
quick? Real
baking
quick.
so my
Hold
makeup
on.
could
You
look
can't
flawless?
say that and stop. Hold on. Kevin is hurt. Kevin, you hurt, bro. And I'm just being honest with you. I'm
There's
not
no such
trying.
thing as a good
Hold on. I'm not disrespecting you. I'm just being honest. Kevin, you hurt, bro. Like, to think that there's no good women out here, bro, that's crazy. That is
Why
crazy.
fake?
Hold on. You know it's in my ears, right?
Oh, sorry.
I'm saying he's really hurting.
Skipped over me though. I was
No,
asking a
but you
question
asked the
before
question.
you.
You talked about it, and then you was asking the question at the same time. And I'm just saying, I feel bad for my brother that he believes that there are no good women at all.
He said they all wicked.
Yeah, because he's
Kevin,
been
why
hurt.
don't you call in so we could call in?
He been hurt.
Call in, Kevin. LOL. Nah, I'm just sucker free fan.
I think
Why don't you call in?
Kevin needs to up his standards of women that he's choosing. I'm just being fair to you, Kev.
Honeydew said I'm a great woman and all my friends are. Shout out to you, Honeydew. Ew.
516
This is my favorite word.
253 1150.
He's
516
gonna curse me out tomorrow. He owes them.
253 1150. Call in right now. Somebody come add some value to this conversation. I'm sorry, I keep trying to say the number. She keeps saying the number over me. Good job. That go the number right there, 516-253-1150. Listen, the issue is we have people who they get triggered in conversations. They get triggered. There are men that don't like the opposite sex, and there are women who just don't like the opposite sex. They don't like each other. And we have to accept that it is what it is because of their experiences and the people they've chosen. Caller, what's going on, caller?
Hey, how's it going? This is Tommy from Southern California.
Southern
Hi,
Cal.
Tommy.
What's going on, Tom?
No, I'm over here working. Listen, so I'm working while I'm grooming dogs.
Okay.
While I'm listening to the podcast.
Appreciate you.
Aw, appreciate you.
What you got, Tom?
And what I love about the podcast is I can relate.
That's what's up.
So I used to be addicted to crystal meth. I've
Okay.
been clean for 14 years now.
Wow, that's
You know,
amazing.
Hold on, give it up for him. Give it up for him, guys.
Shout out to you.
Give it up
Thank
for him.
you.
Come on. Come on, brother. That ain't
I really appreciate it.
big up respect. Big respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I got my life together thanks to God. You know, number one, God. Number two, you know, I had to want it. I worked really hard for it. I went back to high school, got my high school diploma at the age of 23. It's never too late.
Of course.
After I got my high school diploma, I got introduced into the wildland fire program, became a firefighter for the Forest Service fighting the wildfires.
Wow.
After that, fast forward, you know, I got into the dog industry, and now we show dogs, we compete. I saved my money up from firefighting and opened up my own business. It's called the Hot Shot Pet Shop in Southern California.
Wow.
And
that's right.
I met the girl of my dreams, and me and her together, you know, we did this together. And now we got 6 kids.
Wow.
We groom dogs. We have our own business. We have a rental property, and life has been going amazing. All thanks to God, and all thanks to finding the right women to build with.
Amen. Amen. That's amazing.
Look at God.
That's an amazing story.
Look at God.
Can I ask you a question, Tom?
Wow,
what
Tommy.
makes your woman an amazing woman?
You know what? I'll tell you what makes her an amazing woman is she has patience. You know, I'm the one with the crazy ideas. I'm like, I kind of want to do this, and she's like, all right, let's do it. Now, it's not about the cooking. Yes, she does that. It's not about the cleaning. Yes, she does that. It's about she has the patience for me. So on my journey, when I wasn't, it's not like you stop using and you just become the right person immediately. No, she had the patience, and she was able to see me kind of like grow and still get out of all that. And then she's able to build with me. You know,
Wow.
it's real easy to somebody to just be with you when everything's all done. It's hard for somebody to be with you when you're still trying to build your character.
Yes.
So to be honest, I wouldn't be the man I am today if I wasn't with her.
Wow.
You know, she helped make me grow. You know, we help each other grow. And now I give back to my community. You know, you guys mentioned, you know, it's not just about coming up, but it's about coming back and paying it forward.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I do motivational speaking at my local high schools, you know, and I like to speak my story because I'm not afraid of my past. That's why this podcast, I feel like it was meant for me, because I'm going to be honest, I don't follow you guys on TikTok. I just got on TikTok, and randomly
Wow.
this video just came on while I'm grooming the dog, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Let me listen to it.
Wow.
And then I'm like, you know what? Let me give him a call.
Wow.
And somehow, you know, here I am, and we're talking. I'm able to share my story. And, you know, I just want everybody to know, you know, you got to have your faith in God. And it's never too late to start something, because I graduated at 24, you know, became a firefighter. I loved it. And then I said, you know what? I love my family. Being a firefighter, you're either married to the job or your family. And I said, you know what? I want to get into these dogs. And again, my crazy ideas, like anybody else would be like, you're a firefighter. What you mean? You got a career. Just do that for the rest of your life. The support of my wife, she's like, if you want to do it, let's do it.
Wow.
So now we have a successful business, thank
Wow.
God. And we're rocking and rolling, you know, making
Wow.
it happen.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Guys, give it up
Tom.
for Tommy, please.
Yeah,
Give it up
that's
for him.
amazing. We're so proud of you.
Wow,
We're so
wow,
happy for
wow.
you. Keep doing amazing
Tommy, we
things with your
appreciate you.
queen in your corner, and hopefully one day you'll be able to come on the podcast and share your story. But we're
Yeah,
very
Tommy,
happy for you. Congrats.
DM us. We're going to send you some merchandise.
Thank you.
Yeah.
DM me. We're going to send you some
Oh
merch.
yeah, I would love it.
Now, DM me.
Yeah, so you guys can check me out. It's Tommy Hotshot Official. I'm on Instagram more, but I'm also on TikTok. But I do some cool motivational speaking.
We're gonna check you out.
You know, and like I said, I go to the high school. I try to inspire the upcoming generation because it's different.
100%.
You see, even when I go to the high school, I tell the staff, "Hey, I'm gonna cuss a little bit." They're like, "Oh, I try to keep it down." I'm like, "I have to." And the reason why I have to cuss is because if I go in talking like them, they're not gonna relate.
Yeah,
You see, when I start my speech, I go, I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are thinking, who the fuck is this and why the fuck do I have to listen to him?
100%.
As soon as I talk like that,
Hey, listen. Hey,
I
listen.
get all of their eyes
Yeah.
looking at me like, oh shit.
Put your
come
handle
to-
in
You know
our.
what I'm
Put
saying?
your,
I gotta talk
Carl,
like me.
let me take this next caller, Tommy. I'm sorry.
put your stuff in our. Okay.
I'm sorry, Tommy. I'm sorry. Got caller.
Hello.
Yeah, what's going on, caller?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, Q. This is E from Westbury.
What's going-
Used to go to school together.
Okay.
Good. Good to see you doing your thing,
I
brother.
appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, man. Absolutely, man. I remember you from back in the days, and you know, I won't mention any more names, but the people we grew up with, and it's neat to see how the Lord has grown you and matured you and developed you throughout the years. So I just want to
Wow.
just testify to man God's goodness and His patience with us, and recognizing that who you see in the moment is not a finished product.
100%.
I'm approaching 45 this year, and I see with 4 children and a wife married now for coming up on 18 years.
Congrats on
I
that.
see how the
Congrats.
Lord is consistently growing me and
Yes.
shaping me and changing me and humbling me and calling me to be greater every day, working hard, being disciplined. All these things matter. And in the early years of life where we grew up, speaking for myself, where I grew up, I had a stepfather who, did the best he could. But now as a father, I see, okay, there's lessons that I didn't learn
Yes.
that my children vitally need in this age
Yes.
that I didn't get. So I needed to scramble to fill in the gaps that I didn't have to give them what they need for the
Wow.
future.
Wow. Wow. You want to hear something funny? Like sometimes when I come on this podcast, it just so happens that me and you grew up together, and I tell people I was in the streets, I was active, I was all of these things. God done cleaned me up so much that a lot of them don't even believe me. They think I'm just talking. And I'm like, you have no clue. You have no clue. And that's
Yeah,
what,
man.
yeah, I'm listening.
Just one thing, bro. This. I don't know, for whatever this is worth. One thing. This is my situation. Is we grew up in the same place.
Yes.
And we had the same contacts. I knew the same people. And we know the same stories, man. I remember. I won't mention his last name, but this brother named Andre.
Yeah.
He jumped in front of a train.
Yeah.
Got killed, and he without knowing all his story, man, I just see how people who were intentional to pull me to the side and teach me
Yeah.
have a mark in my heart and in my mind that I'll never forget.
Yeah.
And not everybody had that.
Yeah.
And people who didn't have that made decisions for the worst.
Yes.
And then people who didn't have that chose to make decisions contrary to their environment.
100%.
And I see a lot of people, man, they either succumb to their past and think that that's all they're ever going to be,
Yes.
or they make a decision that is contrary to their past to be something that they never thought they could be.
Wow. You want to hear something crazy? The guy you just mentioned, Andre, that's my older brother's best friend.
Oh wow.
That's,
Yep,
that's my older brother's best friend. His younger brother is one of my closest friends. So it just hit a little
And,
hit a little soft spot when I heard that, and it just made me go down memory
Yeah,
lane.
man. Yeah, man. And not to hold up anybody anymore, man. Just to
Yeah.
say this, bro, like I grew up, I should have been a womanizer, and I was for a season of my life.
Yeah.
I should have been a bum, and I was for a season of my life.
Yeah.
But I've made conscious decisions, bro, and I'm fighting for a legacy that transcends me.
Wow.
And every day I have to fight that fight, not to yield to the weak man, the voices of my past, but to set the stage for my future.
Wow.
And that isn't something that just is set in motion. You have to create that path, and you have to work diligent and hard for it every day.
100%.
Caller, what's your name again? I'm sorry.
My name is Edwin.
Edwin,
Yes.
we would love for you to come out to our live show. It's July 26th at Spices in Baldwin. You'll be able to talk and share your experience if you're able to do that. If you have the time, you and your wife, it would be amazing for you to come out. And this is not just even for support. This is just for you to be there to share your story, because you know Q, and just to share what you guys, how you guys grew up. It's just a place for us. It's a safe space, a place for us to just all just talk and have good conversations. So if you're not doing anything on that day, just come out.
I want to say this though. I know you, and I'm gonna be honest with you. When you gave your life to God, man, it shocked me, because I know you, and it inspired me as a man. I am too, because seeing the changes. I know the womanizer that you talked about. I know the behaviors that you had and the issues. I know, I was there. I saw it, and I just want you to know God is good, man, and let Him continue to work on us, bro. And I've seen your story, I've seen your growth too, and I just want to know, bro. I'm proud of you, bro. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah, man. Thank you, brother. You too, man. I love you, bro.
I love you more, bro.
Keep pushing on, and yeah, man. Keep pressing on, brother. Love you, man.
Love you more, bro. Wow. Wow. It just fascinates me when, people you grew up with, and you just drive me down memory lane, man, and it's amazing, because it's like, that's why I tell you, you can't tell people who they're gonna end up being, because it's all a part of their story.
Or what their so someone you guys knew took his own life.
That's my brother's best friend.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So this is why I say, man,
We lived
don't
in the
judge
same,
people,
when I grew up, we
man.
shared like levels of a house.
Yeah.
So I might have lived in the basement, he might have lived on the main level.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you lived in.
Yeah.
Yes, Vanette. Love how
Yeah,
we can have this
that's-
space to celebrate one another. That's what we try to do. Like,
His mother was like my mother.
yeah.
His mother was my mother's, like my mother used to date his brother.
Oh, wow. So
My
you were
mother-
close to
100%.
Oh, wow.
100%. Yeah.
Was this like when you guys were teenagers this happened?
Middle
or?
middle age, 20s.
Wow.
Yeah. But I tell you don't know people's story a lot of times when, a lot of us is just walking trauma. A lot of us don't have our billboards right in front of us showing exactly what we experienced. So sometimes having grace of understanding what other people have been through is how you show the true love for God, because sometimes people don't look like what they've been through.
Yeah.
And you just judge because of what you assume they've been through or what they haven't been through. And sometimes they say you'll make a fool of yourself if you just judge. That's why I don't assume about people anymore, because I see what God did for me. So I know what He can do for somebody else.
Suicide rates are up, and you got a lot of people that just can't deal, and they don't have a safe space, and they don't feel like they have anybody to talk to.
Yep.
And I'm seeing, it's like you said, you don't know what people been through. I've seen a lot of people where I went to high school with and college, and you're like, yo, that was that guy, or that was that girl, and you would have never thought.
Yeah.
We had a girl that we went to school with that put her kids on a bus and went home and shot herself in the head. Put her kids on a bus to go to school, y'all, and then went home and shot herself in the head. Like, you never know what someone's dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I said, it's a battlefield out there, and every day we
100%.
all just get up, put our armor on, put our gear on, and we're just trying to face it. So be kind, guys. Kindness goes a long way, and like, don't judge. You never know what the other person is going through. You know
something, and I'm let me answer this. Let's get it. Caller, what's going on, caller? Caller.
Hello.
How you doing?
Thank you. Good. Thank you for all that you're doing and all the advice that you are giving everybody.
I appreciate you. I definitely appreciate you, my sister.
One thing and one opinion that I do want to say,
Okay.
or, there's something that came up when you did one of the expressions, is that we as a community, we are like a forest.
Okay.
There's a bunch of trees all together. And you don't see one tree just because one tree is leaning towards the other one. That other tree don't push away that tree.
100%.
It just incorporates it within.
Yes.
Because it knows that in those roots, they're all together. They're all one. Mm-hmm. So by pushing, sometimes a family, let's say in a community, you see a family, maybe they're being loud or whatever.
Yeah.
That family, sometimes they're going through things that they don't know what's going down between those closed doors.
Yes.
They just know what they see from the outside.
Yep.
They could be going through different experiences, different addictions or whatever else is going in their life.
Yep.
And sometimes some people are really quick to judge those individuals and you're like, oh, this and that about them.
Yes.
Not understanding or understanding what is it that is, or what are they working with or what are they working between themselves.
Yes.
You know, in a relationship and in a marriage, there's a lot going on. There's not going to be rainbows and flowers and butterflies all the time.
No.
Sometimes when in a marriage, there's going to be chaos.
100%.
Because between that chaos, that's how we learn and that's how we teach each other about each other.
Yes.
Sometimes it's going to get bad before it gets better.
100%, my
and
sister.
it's easy for others to just point and say, "Oh, look at them."
Yep.
But you don't know if you're going to be in that situation, and you're not going to want to be judged the same way.
100%. Anybody can go through it.
You
my
know,
sister.
that's just something that I wanted to get out there. Thank you for all you do, and thank you for helping a lot of people express themselves and say what they need to say, because sometimes they don't feel heard.
I appreciate you,
So
my sister.
God bless you guys.
God bless you more.
Thank you.
Blessing to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Oh, I love you.
Yeah, but guys, we got to
too.
realize, like, everyone is going through something. Everyone is experiencing something. Everyone is, we all have our traumas and our experiences. And that's why I say sometimes, when you talking negative to somebody, you realize that, this person could mean good, but it just might not. It may offend you because you haven't worked on certain aspects of yourself. Yeah. And again, it's not an attack. It only feels like an attack if you're not working on yourself. A person can't call me a bum when I'm no longer working on being a bum. I'm only going to feel offended if I'm still being a bum. And that's just reality.
But do you think people influence you, though, even if you're trying to level up, but do you think that sometimes people could, take you back there? You know what I'm saying? And it could hurt you, especially someone you're close to. Like, imagine me, you're close, and I call you all the time. I blow my brother phone. Guys, text and call. So imagine you just being negative. That's going to hurt me. Because if it's someone that I look up to and I look to for advice, and then you constantly remind me of my shortcomings and what I did wrong, it's going to make me feel like, are you not seeing what I'm trying to do, though? Or are you going to hold me to where I was always at? You know what I'm saying? So you think those people can really influence you and impact you, even if you're trying to go where you're going, because you value them so much and you value their opinion. So it matters.
The word influence is because a lot of people don't know who they are. And most people aren't working on who they are. They're trying to pretend to be someone they're not. And they get so caught up in trying to be other people that they don't even know who they are anymore. You ever talk to somebody and you're like, I know you, you're not even like this. But they play this character so long, they start believing they're this character. So sometimes when we have conversations, a lot of times, people that aren't working on themselves, they're gonna always take like it is an attack, because through movies and through social media, we was taught that love is always being nice and coddling and hugs, and no, love is truthful. Love it tells you like, no, that's wrong. Come on. But we have to learn different aspects of love, And
love is correction. That's
is
true.
correction.
Love, leave on.
100%. I'm going to get one more caller before we get out of here today, guys. 516-253-1150. One more time, 516-253-1150. But again,
Dasani says she's taking it one ghetto day at a time.
I saw
Dasani,
that.
where you at?
I
She's
saw
taking
that.
it one ghetto day at a time.
I saw that.
We love, guys, let me just say, we love you guys who come on every week faithfully. You take the time out of your day to come on here and support us. Sometimes we on here for an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and you guys come on and you just show us love. So
100%.
I just wanted to say we love you guys and thank you. Oh, Dasani says she at the park. Okay, girl.
Listen, for those who don't know, go subscribe to the YouTube channel right now. This YouTube channel is called Empowered Dynasty, POWERD. Dynasty, Empowered Dynasty on YouTube. If you want to keep up with all the previous episodes, everything is uploaded on YouTube.
Hold on. Did you guys check out my brother's album? Bruh. Hold on, gang. My brother sent me his album last week. I listened to every single song. And let me tell you
I didn't make her say this. I didn't make her say this.
Pay me, excel me after. I did what you said. But his album is yes, Dasani, like, yo, the album is crazy. First of all, I be looking at Q like he surprises me every day. Like, when did you start singing, gang? Like, what are we doing? Like, the other day you was yelling, screaming, fighting, doing this. Now you're a singer. But the album is fire. Like, oh my God, guys. When I tell you fire, fire. If y'all haven't listened to it, listen. And it's not that long, like less than an hour or maybe an hour. Oh my God,
it's on every
guys.
streaming service. All you got to type is QDABOSS on any streaming service. It will come up.
What's my favorite song?
You said you like Risk It All.
Risk It All.
But you also said, no, you said
Risk It All, Love at First Sight. And the first one, the very first one.
That's What is a Man? What defines a man?
What defines a man? Love at First. Risk It All is my favorite one. That just related to me. Yeah. But the album is so good, guys. It's like one of those things where you be like, that's cute.
Can I ask you something?
Really good.
Whoever want to hear 2 or 3 songs before we leave today, say I want to hear 2 or 3 songs and I play it.
But you got to play Risk It All first.
Yeah, if y'all say I want to hear, if I get 10 people that say we want to hear 2 or 3 songs, we'll play it. That go 1 person.
I would like to
that
hear
go 2.
So good.
That go 2, that go 3. So now
Thank you. I want to hear, of course you're going to hear people say it. I want to hear 3 songs. Play her favorite.
Right. So let's close out. Guys, don't leave the episode. We're going to close out this, and then we're going to play it.
Risk It All first, though.
Don't leave out. We just got to close out the episode. We're going to do the outro, and then we're going to play it. Got anything else you want to say before we got here today?
I just want to say I love you guys, and I love you guys for tuning in. Today, I'm reading the comments, and I just love y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in every week on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. Like, you guys come on faithfully every week. I see a lot of the names, the same names, whether you agree or disagree. It's just amazing that you guys come on just to hear us talk.
Yes.
I love this. I love that this is a safe... Oh, take it off.
No, that's it.
I love that this is a safe space for us. And I just love y'all. That's 100%. All I got to say. I love you guys. Let's continue to just be kind and just... That's it, guys.
Yes. I want to say before we got here today, guys, to the faithful listeners, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys.
Can you take this?
I'm never trying to attack. I'm only trying to correct. And sometimes I might come across as the big brother to some people on a fatherly figure and some people as a brother. At the end of the day, we got to correct in order to do better, guys. We got to stop living in a lie so we can fix our truth and we can do better as a human culture and understand and respect each other. Till next time, guys, don't let that go over your head.